In 1991, stevia was banned in the United States and labeled as an unsafe food additive. Europe followed suit in 1999, banning stevia pending an investigation of its toxicity. Stevia is used as a sweetener in a wide variety of products, including soft drinks like Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, and vitamin water, as well as yogurts like Activia and Danvia. And of course, stevia is also sold as an additive sweetener, safe for diabetics. Where did stevia come from, and why is it in these products? The natural form of stevia had been used in Brazil and Paraguay for 1500 years. In 1887, Swiss doctor Moises Santiago Bertoni first learned of the plant from Indian guides while exploring Paraguay's eastern forests. Due to the difficulty of recovering a live flowering plant, he wasn't able to announce his discovery until 1905. In 1931, French chemist Bredel and Labielle isolated the active molecule Steviol that created the sweet taste. Finally, in 1963, Mosetic et al. Performed experiments to elucidate the final structure of Steviol. His team synthesized a total of 28 different Steviol derivatives and performed many chemical tests to confirm the presence of certain functional groups. By using techniques including mixed melting point comparisons, infrared spectroscopy, CD spectroscopy, and X-ray powder diffraction, they were able to confirm the structure of Steviol and the stereochemistry of the carbons. Stevia is fundamentally different from common sugars. The glycosides in stevia are molecules that contain glucose and other non-sugar substances called aglycones. The tongue's taste receptors react to the glucose and the glycosides. Those with more glucose taste sweeter than those with less. In the digestive tract, the glycosides are metabolized into stevioside. Then stevioside is broken down into glucose and steviol. The glucose released in this process is used by bacteria in the colon and not absorbed into the bloodstream. Steviol cannot be further digested and is excreted. This is beneficial for diabetics because the glucose released by the steviosides does not raise their blood sugar level. One modern industrial process for creating stevia involves placing dried whole leaves with hot water in a counter-current continuous extractor. The water extract is clarified by electrocoagulation, and steviol glycoside is separated from the remaining aqueous extract by a liquid-liquid extraction column of a water-immiscible alcohol mixture. The alcohol and any impurities are separated out over 4 filtration steps before crude steviol glycoside is crystallized out. The crystal is dried in a vacuum before a final purification step, where it is dissolved in another alcohol-water mixture under refluxing condition and cooled to recrystallize the purified steviol glycoside. By the mid-1980s, a number of major food companies had recognized stevia's potential value. Among those marketing or developing products containing stevia were tea makers Thomas J. Lipton Company, Celestial Seasonings, Traditional Medicinals, as well as a host of smaller firms. Estimates placed the amount of stevia entering the country at that time in the hundreds of tons. But just as the industry was poised to take off, representatives of an anonymous firm lodged a trade complaint with the FDA, charging that the tea company Celestial Seasonings was using stevia extracts in 4 of its products. They cited 3 studies: a 1968 research study conducted by Professor Joseph Cook of Purdue University, which showed the fertility-reducing effect on female rats which were administered a high concentration of stevia, as well as similar studies, one in 1988 from Brazil's University of Moringa Foundation, and a 1985 University of Chicago study which showed stevia may have mutagenic effects in some circumstances. Celestial Seasoning ceased using the herb, then, still under pressure, told the agency about other tea makers who were also using it. The FDA launched an aggressive search and seizure campaign that was followed by an import alert in 1991, despite many earlier studies contradicting the 3 cited. In 2008, after significant research, the FDA declared stevia as generally regarded as safe and approved specific glycoside extracts for use as food additives. The European Union approved stevia additives in 2011. However, Japan had been using stevia as a sweetener for decades.
The problem is in the processing of that natural plant and changing the chemical compound in the course of refining the stevia.
By restricting stevia based on so little evidence, the FDA helped propagate public mistrust and misunderstanding of chemistry. It is imperative that the federal administrations use sufficient evidence and keep the public informed.